Hello.
Hello.
Wow, welcome. This is episode 98 of NgoVo Convo podcast, where two stupids make a hype.
Huh, that's hype. Right? Right.
Yeah. Are we hyped today? We'll see. We'll see if we're hyped.
We'll see if we're hype.
Yeah. I'm one of your hosts, Veronica Vote, and I'm joined by Harrison No. He's to my left. I'm to his right.
Hello.
If you look on YouTube, he's waving. If you're new here, we both just want an excuse to talk about anything that ranges from animated comics, but also we're trying to clean up this backlog. It's never ending. We're slowly getting there. Slowly. But also, some would say this is two people conversing.
Like NgoVo Convo and NgoVo Convo? Spelled right above my head.
Wow.
I was ready this time.
You were ready. But you can watch every episode on youtube.com or listen to it as a podcast on your podcast service of choice. We're on 10 plus different platforms. 10 plus.
All plus.
All pluses. And in this episode, we're going to be talking about Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, aka James Gunn's last MCU movie.
Wow.
So, if you haven't finished the movie, it just came out as of recording, May 5th. Go watch it in theaters. It won't be on Disney Plus anytime soon. Come back to us. Like it. Love it. Leave us another tab. Leave your room. Go watch it in a movie theater.
Damn. What are you trying to say?
But let's get into non-spoiler thoughts. Did you have any expectations for this movie?
I had relatively high. Okay. The bar has been low to me for MCU for a while, but I saw how it's been received well.
Yes, it has.
Review-wise. I saw the review scores and I was like, okay.
Yeah.
It's not bad. So I'll take it. Yeah. So it met my expectations and a little bit higher, actually, considering how MCU's been going.
No, I feel you on that.
Yeah.
I agree. I think James Gunn has this formula to Guardians of Galaxy. He didn't really stray away from it too much, I don't think, this time around either.
Yeah.
And since it was his last MCU movie, I think he really went all out, in my opinion, for him. But I agree. I enjoyed it a lot more than I thought I would. I just went into this meh, it's another MCU movie.
I did too. I honestly did as well. And I was just like, yeah, sure.
Yeah. So far, I feel like we've seen all the MCU movies, and so far this one might be one of my top, I think, in the phase. So.
I mean, technically, in this phase, there's only been this and Ant-Man, right?
Ant-Man, yeah.
So.
Well, phase 4, too.
Okay.
Really
Comparing.
thinking about phase 4.
Okay.
Yeah, and 5.
Okay.
Yeah. It's been good. Guardians is not, my favorite, group, I would say.
But
so
I think what this movie did really well was still encompass everything about Guardians. Even if you like or didn't like it, if you watch all this stuff, I think it's still... This is also a testament to, MCU having, decades of history now with, content.
Yeah.
And I think they were able to... Because this is James Gunn's last Guardians movie, I don't know what else they're going to do with it, because it's not like... They could still do stuff. It's not like they're done, but I think they're done with, what James Gunn had in mind with them.
Yeah.
And I think they kind of did this as a very good send-off. I think they did a very good way of, kind of encompassing everything that makes what Guardians is.
For James Gunn.
And, for what the MCU is for them.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. No, I agree. But yeah, did you have any gripes, cons, anything? Non-spoiler yet?
Honestly, I think I enjoyed this movie more than you did. Well, or
yeah,
maybe
you did.
We'll see. Because
we'll see.
I think my expectations were that much lower that I think the bar, I mentioned, my expectation was high. It got higher due to reviews, but it still wasn't that high. Considering I'm it's MCU movies right now are kind of but not really any gripes. If anything, the gripes I would normally have is a benefit to the movie, I think. So.
Especially with the Guardians.
Yeah. What about you, though?
I felt like it was choppy.
Choppy?
It was a little choppy in the beginning.
I guess it was. I could see that it's choppy. I guess for me it was negligible.
Yeah. No, it's just a little choppy. I got a little confused at like a certain point in the beginning. I was like, okay, what's going on? But it must have been like the cut. Either it was the editing. I think it was like cutting to certain areas that was choppy. But that was my only gripe.
I think that's also just because this typically happens with group movies. Like they have to kind of jump around. Like the moment it happened, they do the typical thing where they split up the group. So I'm just gonna say that happens a lot.
Yeah. Let's go into a spoiler of thoughts then.
Okay.
In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay. Let's get into it. Okay. I cried.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. I am an animal lover.
Dude.
And the moment I saw everything, and I was like, no.
When they did the flashback, for me, the moment I started like wincing way more, because I love animals, and we could talk about this in a bit.
Yeah.
Because I'm curious. When they showed Floor.
Mm-hmm.
So like I think I saw Lila already because you could see it in the trailer, like the augmentation.
Arms.
But actually, I didn't watch that much, so actually I didn't know about the other animals. I knew that there were other animals, but I didn't know what they were or what happened to them. But Floor was the one that like had the craziest augmentations, in my opinion. And
no, she did. She looked like a spider. She was like a spider.
Dude, that gave me like Toy Story vibes.
Yes.
But it was so sad.
I feel like that was part of the inspiration too.
Probably.
Yeah.
But it was so sad because she was she felt like she was the most innocent.
No, she really was.
My wife pointed out, because I mentioned that, my wife made a good point. She's like, and if you notice in terms of experimentation, she was probably the most unsuccessful in terms of what they were trying to do. So that's why it's more endearing and really sad.
No, I start crying. I was like, oh no. It's Rocket's story. We're just here to just be here.
Yeah. I was curious because I don't know if I've heard.
And you know what? That is probably why he doesn't know he's a raccoon.
Yes. Because.
Like, why would he even think that?
Why would he? Yeah. Like, they did so much augmentation to his brain. Like, how would he know? That's why he keeps thinking no. But I like how at the end, jumping forward to that, it just confirms that he is a raccoon.
From North America.
From North
America, raccoon. No, but yeah. The high evolutionary guy, I have never wanted to stand up and punch a villain
as much as you did.
As much as I did to this man. And I was just sitting here. I was like, I don't know if I can even I don't even know if I want to even listen to his voice and even see him.
No, and he does a really good job. I'm gonna butcher his name, Chukwudi.
I call him Chuck. People call him Chuck.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. I barely watch interviews now at this point too, but he does a good job at playing asshole characters.
No, he really does. He's always the villain. This actor has been.
It's like menacing, but he does such a good job. Like his screams, his actions, it's just like his facial, everything.
His facial expression, his eyes, even. It's the eyes.
Yeah.
It was
he
most
does
definitely
such a good job, and I was like, holy.
Yeah. And was there any point in this movie that you got scared for Rocket? At any point?
Yes, I got more scared for Drax. Between
me too.
They kept teasing how he could die, and if you follow with how Dave Bautista feels about like acting in Marvel, he only wanted to go. He wanted to go. So I was like, is he gonna go? Is this how they're gonna do it?
Yeah. And Dave Bautista is one of those WWE wrestlers turned actors that has range.
He actually does.
He actually has range. He does not play himself.
Are you speaking in terms of Black Adam?
The Rock? No, I'm speaking in terms The Rock
I know.
and John Cena even.
Yes.
But John Cena's like in the middle. He's good. He's getting good. He's getting a little better.
John Cena's in the middle. I think John Cena is aware. That's the thing.
No,
John Cena is aware, while Dave Bautista.
But John Cena knows he's you can't see him.
Love it. Oh my god.
Yeah. Dave is a really good actor.
But Dave Bautista took classes though. He actually took like lessons, and like he wanted to learn like correctly from what I've heard. Like I think one of the interviews he said that, or one article, and that's matter of respect. So you could tell.
No, yeah, and I think he's trying to get out of the MCU bubble, that superhero bubble. So he's been taking a lot of like thriller movies. There's this one thriller. I don't know if you've seen it. But it's the one where he gets captured with like this Asian daughter of his, I think, in a cabin. Oh,
yes, I have.
Like they get kidnapped or something, or robbed. I don't know. And he said that character really took him out of his element.
Yeah.
And I could see why.
I could see why.
I saw the trailer and I was like, oh.
Yeah. He's starting to get range. He's starting to.
No. And I think that's why I like. Especially with MCU actors, they sometimes stay in their roles for a real long time.
It's hard to say because there is like that mentality for some actors when they say like, "Oh, don't ever take an MCU movie because you get locked in."
Yeah,
you're locked into that.
That used to be the case.
I still feel like
contract wise.
No. So contract wise, I think more like persona. Like whenever someone sees you, they're like, "Oh, it's X," right?
Yeah.
When in reality, as an actor, it's good. It's good money, yeah. But is that all you ever want to do? I think that's the argument sometimes. It's like, is that the most you ever want to do? Probably not. But
yeah.
But I think
it's
like one of those where I think MCU gets you on the radar. Or it's a sign that you've been on the radar. If that makes sense.
Because MCU really opened up a lot of doors for a lot of people. So yeah. I'm still a Chris Pratt hater, but him as Peter.
I was gonna say Peter
was pretty good.
Him as Peter was pretty good, but I think it's also we didn't have to watch it as much.
Yeah.
I'm just saying
this wasn't about Peter this time.
Because we got so much about him. Honestly, that was the whole second movie, right?
Yeah, it really was.
It was literally him with daddy issues. Now I get like he finally admitted that he essentially destroyed half the galaxy because of his temper.
Yep.
And I was like, people online have been saying that for years.
But he finally said it as a line. Yeah, I noticed that too.
And people hated him for that, but I was like, no, that's a fault. That's actually what happened. The one thing about his character that irked me, and I get it's more emotional trauma. Mm-hmm. He kept looking at Gamora saying, "Why don't you remember?" I was like, because she's from a different timeline. How can she remember if none of that happened to her?
Exactly. She was just it's a different version of Gamora.
It was like I forgot what year, but essentially 2016 or some shit. Yeah. Because they
went back in time.
Because Endgame, that Thanos came forward in time.
Yes.
It was that weird. He got the call and he jumped over to that point.
Oh, yes. Wow, time was weird when you think
because their Thanos timeline was dead because they killed him, but he did everything. So this is an alternate Thanos, and this is therefore the alternate Gamora. That's why I was like, the entire time if I had one irk, it wasn't that big of an irk on the movie itself. It was just like, bro, how can she remember? She can't. But I figured
let it go.
I just attributed to emotional trauma, seeing your person you loved.
Whatnot, yeah. How'd you feel about Nebula?
I liked how they gave her more of a. She's gotten the most character development out of the Guardians, right? I actually did forget she was in 2. Was that 2 or was
same.
it? I forgot which one. Or was it 1? Oh no, it was 1. No, it was Guardians 1.
Oh,
but
I forget.
See, but that's why I was like, damn, I forgot she was in it. But it's because I keep imagining her Endgame version, and not like this,
version.
and not like the crazy sister that wants to kill, right?
Yeah.
But they made such illusions, and I think it was great to have old Gamora and then her and show like the people. I thought I was the bad one, but apparently look at her. Yeah, it showed how unhinged old Gamora was. Or
I know.
Time is weird. Yes, that Gamora.
Can we talk about the bad dog?
Okay, I'm so glad they kept Cosmo.
Cosmo, yeah.
And
Cosmo the space dog.
It's Cosmo the space. I was like, dang, they really. Oh, it was so cool. Cause that's like old shit.
Oh yeah.
Also, Howard the Duck popping up too is actually hilarious.
Yeah, it is. But Cosmo was a bad dog. She's a bad dog.
She was so funny. I mean, bad dog.
Bad dog, yeah. But the best Russian dog that we could have ever gotten. I loved how petty she was.
I loved the bit. I love that
Yes.
bit so much. It's like, just say. I'm sorry, I hit my mic. She was just like, just say I'm a good dog. And he's like, no, you're a bad dog. And she's like, no. She's like, why?
The first time he said it, she was like, take it back.
Take it back.
She's like,
You don't
take
mean
it
it.
back
You
now.
don't mean it. Take it back. So such beauty.
Did you enjoy Groot? It was like Teen Groot. We saw Teen Groot.
This is not Teen Groot though. Teen
Is
Groot
it
was
not? Is it-
Teen Groot was definitely angsty Groot in
Oh wait,
Endgame.
Endgame.
This is like
Is this like semi-adult? Groot?
this is like essentially young adult, like college level, I'd say.
Oh, okay. So this is like
Because he's not
Groot.
angsty. He wasn't like
Yeah, that's
moody.
true. That's true.
That
He
was
wasn't
Moody Groot was like the skinny, lanky one that like.
Oh, this is like
This is
bulky,
Endgame.
like.
This is like
Oh
he's starting to get his life together.
yeah. This is like bulky Groot.
Oh,
I couldn't tell. I was like, is this teenager Groot or
No,
like college Groot?
I only knew because I was like, they complained about him so much in Endgame because he was playing video games and he was like talking
yes.
like had bad language.
Talking back.
Yeah, talking back, and Rocket's like,
Yeah.
how dare you? So that's why I knew that was Teen Groot. So this
Okay.
one is like just older Groot for sure.
I
But
like the older Groot.
they did psych you out on so many things. Like, oh, there's someone's gonna die because older Groot, he got ripped apart at some point, and it's just his head walking across. I was like, oh damn it, does he have to restart again?
But he can regenerate. I forget how quickly he can just.
It's just
like,
because he was wiped out on the first one, but had a seed, and that's it,
yeah.
or something like that, or branch
Yeah.
or something. But
yeah.
Groot was cool.
I feel like this movie had me at the edge of my seat, and probably yours too, with like who was going to die if it was.
if they were going to, but they didn't.
Some people were really Peter was really
Dude,
close.
no,
Drax
okay,
was really close.
They because Peter almost died the same way as oh my god, it's the blue guy, the one with the original Mohawk guy. I can't remember his name all of a sudden. Oh my, because they had so many people here, so many people.
I know there were so many people here.
So many, and I was just like, that's why I say this is still a good. This is to me the best Guardians in the sense of it captured what one did. I still think one was
the
best for how it's set up, but everything in between, I think this one still is up there because it was able. It's a love letter to like the Guardians.
The Guardians, yeah.
It's essentially James Gunn saying thanks to like everything. You could feel it.
Yeah.
But God.
Man, the close calls on almost everyone, I was scared. I was so scared for Drax and Peter and Rocket.
Can we also mention Will Poulter as Adam Warlock?
He grew into his face. He had a glow up.
He absolutely did.
I was a Will hater as a child
Really?
because his face was just, he did not grow into it as a teenager. But now he did. And he bulked up.
He bulked
as
up.
Adam. As Adam Warlock.
Adam Warlock, he's big, but I expected a bigger part, but he ended up just being a comedic bit of like, oh, he's like in their words, he was an early. What was it? They let him out of his pod early, so essentially he was like a.
He was premature.
He's a preemie essentially.
He's a preemie.
Or that's what they would be claiming.
Yeah.
Because his reactions to stuff was like weird, but it was so funny.
Yeah, it was very like teenagery.
Yeah, show him that we mean business. Okay.
Kills him. I
said show him business. I was like, what the? I'm gonna side with Adam on this one. What that mean? All right. Like, what severity are? Because he's only known like kill or no kill.
Yeah, exactly.
And and he doesn't control his speed, so he just straight up runs through shit.
It was crazy. It was nice to see Adam.
Yeah, I expected to see Adam earlier, but also this is the third Guardians movie, so it makes sense, right?
It would make sense that he's just kind of here.
Yeah.
At some point, I forgot about him.
Because originally, in the comics, he was supposed to. At one point, he holds onto one of the Infinity Stones, like the little thing on top.
Yeah.
I believe that's what it was. I think it was similar to Vision. I don't remember, but he had the power of one of the Infinity Stones. So.
Yeah, which is cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you like Nathan Fillion?
Yes.
Did you? I love Nathan Fillion for like the longest because I was like a huge Castle fan when I was growing up. And Firefly, duh. But yeah. I saw Castle first, and then I heard he was on Firefly, and I just love his character. Like in Destiny 2, he voiced one of the main characters, and he was so good. And of course, he had to die because he was like, contractually, he was like, I probably can't do this anymore.
Just can't do it. Yeah. Oh my god, no. Oh my god. Them in those suits, in those like skin cell suits or whatever you want to call them.
Oh, we'll get to that.
Yeah.
We'll get to that.
We'll get to that bit, but yeah, no. It was good. It was nice
I just loved how they were like, but this guy, he's like kind of
same. I have this guy in my team too.
You too? Oh, I got one too, man. It's okay. I was like, that bit was good too. I was like,
Drax was like, what?
This guy, I'm proud of him. He's really good. But this guy,
not so
much. I would commit murder. I was like, oh my god.
Your brother and I were cracking up at this part. I was just like, oh my god, I cannot contain my laughter right now.
Nathan Fillion's so funny. Oh god.
No, he really is. I don't know how they acted through those suits so seriously. Okay.
This movie is essentially just uncomfortable. Yeah. That they said like this is organic. I'm like, they're cutting through skin. They're going through because there's hair follicles and stuff. James Gunn just went all out with the sound effects on this one, and it just made everything like just.
And I'm not an eyeball girly, and
did you freak out when you saw that?
I was like sitting here. I was just like, oh.
What? They did sound they played with sound so much in this one. Like when they put their hands to touch buttons and stuff, and it was just like squish.
It was just squishy and slimy, and I feel like the sensory part of me and my ears, I was just like, oh.
Dude, I almost decided to do IMAX, and I'm glad I didn't for this one.
It probably would have just sprayed something at you.
Yeah, I was like, oh, nope.
Oh yeah. No, the sensoriness, it was just so sensitive.
Yeah.
Just thinking about it, I'm just like, huh. Yeah, let's go back to I know we're just like kind of like ranting, but I feel like we're ranting about like the best parts.
Yeah.
But the high evolutionary and kind of like the arc of how he wanted a perfect world.
Dude, yeah.
That was insane.
No, and it was so messed up, but it was funny how like, and it was in correlation with like essentially with Rocket.
Yeah.
Rocket
Rocket was so smart,
and he's like, this lesser being somehow can figure it out, and then I couldn't, right?
Yeah.
But I was gonna say he was trying to make the perfect one. So how did he just got it so much in his head that he's like, oh, I'm also perfect. I'm like, but you aren't. You're trying to work towards making the perfect being. So of course you're not. So of course if you can't figure it out, oh, that's imperfect. Like
and he was just
that's the conclusion. Like I was like, oh,
obsessed with Rocket.
yeah,
Obsessed.
that even
And
to the
poor
point where like
Rocket.
his crew was like, this guy's insubordinate. Let's just take him out. But they couldn't.
They couldn't. No, I thought, and just Rocket's story. Oh God, especially when he went like he was about to die and he was just gonna cross, and then what was her name?
Lila.
I
think Lila.
Lila, the otter. She was like. Rocket was like, can I come with you? Because he was seeing all his friends and like in movies, like when you see like the white screen, you just know they're gonna cross. And so Rocket was like, can I cross with you? And Lila was like, yeah, sure, come along. He starts walking. Lila's like, it's not your turn yet.
See, I was so worried. Okay, I'll be honest. I was worried about how they would go about it. Like, I knew he wouldn't die.
I thought he was gonna die.
I thought, I didn't think he was gonna die at that point. But once he got onto the ship and it went back to where he began, he found all the little raccoons.
I thought he was gonna get.
That's
shot.
when I thought he was gonna get shot.
Yep.
But it showed that he learned from. He's been paying attention. He knows, or he's like super tech savvy. Because the moment the high evolutionary tried to like use gravity and stuff, he already activated the whatever tech he had to like go against
deactivate the gravity.
Yeah.
So, that was cool.
And then he's like, I'm Rocket, and I'm like, oh,
the raccoon.
He's
Rocket the raccoon.
He finally said it.
He said it. No, but yeah, that part where he was seeing his old friends, and I was just like, oh God, he's crossing. He's gonna go. Like I was just like, Peter's already crying. Groot's already there. Like Gamora's just gonna be like. I was scared. And then the moment he like zapped himself back, I was like, okay, we're maybe okay.
Yeah. Dude,
it was the Rocket story.
The
was
way
so
they
sad.
dealt with animal cruelty was like
animal testing.
And animal testing was like so sad because they never really so they don't show the action.
They can't, but you can just
no, they won't, and they can't.
Yeah.
But the outcome says it all, and it just hurts so much.
And the reaction, Peter's reaction, I've never seen him just look so disgusted.
Yeah.
By like this action.
Because like when they were watching what was happening to Rocket.
Rocket's like
Oh, because you could hear like the wincing and then like how they're saying shit. And they're like, hold it down, I can't. And I was like, oh my God.
Yeah, and then you think about like actual animal testing and animal cruelty, especially like makeup companies and stuff. Yeah. So, beagles, like I was just like, oh, I can't do it. I start crying. I was like, I can't. This is not. I can't do this. I can't think about it. And you think about like child slavery, which is what he did at the end.
Which then at the end he went. Yeah, it's like, oh, he's so bent on making the perfect society, but he's doing all these like atrocities along the way just to make it happen. And it's so fucking messed up. And
this movie was dark and violent.
They were right. He James Gunn said it'd be dark.
And violent.
And violent.
No, and
they got away with a lot of violence though.
Peter said the F word in an MCU movie.
When was that?
With when Peter had to drive the car.
Okay.
And Nebula
that's the one. Yeah.
Couldn't open the door. Open the fucking door.
I sat there. I'm like, did you say that? Oh, I did. Wow, nice.
That's the first F word in MCU. They always cut it out. Nick Fury never says it.
Mother.
You just hear the mother and then the F, and then it just cuts out. You never hear.
What was this movie rated? Was this?
It was PG-13, I think.
Mike. Oh yeah, because they can drop one. They can drop one. That's one. Right.
And no nudity. There's no nudity, so that's
America.
Why it's PG-13.
Oh, America.
I know.
Oh, US. But, going to the children, I want to touch on like most of the cast or each character, how they got to have an ending, right?
A really good ending.
And actually. A really good one. So, jumping off from the children to Drax, I think Drax, they they did a full circle with his story, and it was so good because it showed how good he was with the kids. Oh, also, I love how Nebula and Mantis have like their thing of like, she's like, I hate. Mantis was so good in this movie too.
She was.
She was so good in
She
this
really
movie.
was.
I loved her so much in this one. And I was like, protect at all costs.
No, honestly, yeah.
Which Drax wanted to do, but couldn't. Drax finally got to, like, you know, he was so good with kids, and it made you remember that he had a family.
Mm-hmm.
But the entire reason he even started on his path of destruction is because his family died.
Yep.
And then I like how at the end they let, like, when Nebula's like, I need you back here because I learned that you can be a dad.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, that's oof. It's
Oh,
crazy.
that's so good.
And then Mantis, of course, gaining to lead, you know, she's like, I need to figure out my own way because, of course, Peter said the same thing. Because the entire thing was like, oh, Rocket was running or hiding and running kind of, but then now everyone else was also kind of doing the same. Like running
and now
from
they're
themselves.
doing their own thing.
Yeah. Which I thought was really good because, yeah, Gamora, sort of the Ravengers, or spinning with them. Like, it kind of makes sense. I was like, okay, duh.
Sylvester Stallone, did not expect him to make two scene cameos, yeah. Which is interesting.
Yeah.
I saw his name pop up when the beginning credits started rolling, and I was like,
oh, I guess he'll be in here.
Stallone.
Like, oh, okay, I guess Ravengers will be in here.
Yeah, I was like,
so,
what?
Makes sense. Oh, and Peter actually going back to Earth. Mm-hmm. It's like, oh, he's never been back since. Circle.
Yeah.
Because even during Endgame and all that,
he avoided.
Yeah, he avoided it. He was up in the space section, so.
Yeah. No, I think James Gunn, like you said, gave everyone like a full circle to their story.
Yeah.
And wrapped it up in a really good way.
Yeah. Because even Nebula,
a good exit for him.
Yeah, Nebula is now taking care of Nowhere. I forgot Nowhere was. They made it a ship too, and I was like, "Oh shit, okay," because I knew it was a
no pun intended. Nowhere with the spellings, which is really funny to me still.
Because Nowhere is a planet, if I remember. I just don't remember if it was like a ship or some shit, but not a big deal right now.
It's a ship in this case, I think.
Yeah. Because they dropped. That was cool.
Yeah.
What was it? And then
Rocket's the lead now.
Rocket's the lead, and I think that's really cool. Do you think they're gonna make more of that? Because they mentioned. Well,
don't
actually,
know.
So Rocket, because they made his group, and I'm like, okay, Adam Warlock was a part of the Guardians at one point in the comics, so that makes sense.
That's a great segue because we can just go to that two end credits.
Well, yeah. Let's just go to because that was a mid credit, right?
Yeah, because Rocket's now head of the Guardians of the Galaxy. Like you said, Adam is a part of it.
Yeah.
One of the child slaves that they found.
She is. They said her name was Phyla, and Phyla Vel. Her full name in the comics is Phyla Vel, and she's the daughter of Mar-Vell.
I was just gonna say, is it because her powers are very Marvel-esque?
Yeah. Okay. So
okay.
They are twisting some things because it looks like it was more like the High. Oh my God, what's his name? I keep saying High Inquisitor. It's not High Evolutionary. Her powers looked like it was a mix, but did she ever make a sword? I couldn't remember all of a sudden.
She didn't. She just had that allure that like Captain Marvel does.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So she's supposed to get a sword, or I can't remember if she makes a sword or gets a sword, but she is this is the weird part. She is the daughter of Mar-Vell. But okay, hold on. Let me read this. Original Captain Marvel, brother. Yeah. So she has a brother, but she's the daughter of Mar-Vell and his genetically ideal mate. That was the weirdest thing in the comics.
Oh, okay.
But he's dead, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
But that's why I was like, it's interesting how like that they didn't really say that, so who knows, that might not be the MCU thing, but this is who she is in the comics.
Yeah, which is really cool.
Yeah.
And Rocket and Groot, Cosmo.
Groot became is it King Groot? I forgot what it's called, but
it's Big Groot. It's
he
Big
like
Groot.
that version of him is actually I think it's like the Prime Groot, or is it King Groot? I forgot. But
it's like his like prime.
Yeah, or like
prime
his
time
elder, because he grew up so fast. I was like, oh god. Let me see. But and then
I don't
they
know.
still kept the no King
The
Groot.
Mohawk
Yeah,
guy?
it's King Groot. King Groot is at the end. That level, that version of Groot is King Groot. Technically,
Okay, it's cool.
I keep saying
And
it.
then the
'cause it's
Mohawk
so cool.
guy.
And the Mohawk guy is
forget.
still there. Yeah,
Yeah.
I forget every time, and I would look.
Yeah.
Oh, Kraglin.
And then
Kraglin.
oh yeah. I don't know if they're gonna. I don't know where they're headed with Rocket. To be honest, I honestly don't know. What do you think?
So now let's jump to the end credit.
Well, Quill is now with his grandpa.
Which
and...
actually, I forgot his grandpa was still alive, and I forgot that whole scene. He's like, "My grandpa pushed me out of the room." Blah blah blah. I was like, "Oh, huh." And then of course he's like, "Before that, can we just jump to the idea of like, oh, have you ever thought about going to see your grandpa?" No, because he's probably what, like 90 something.
90, yeah.
Oh, and then Martin just say, "Yeah, so that's fine. He's still young." It's like, no, people on Earth die at like 50 or something.
50. Mantis like 50? Why were you born then?
What's the point of being born? I was like, she's got a point.
And she's like, Peter, are you gonna die soon? Peter's like, I'm not that old.
And then I had the questions like, how old is Peter at this point though?
Yeah.
Because isn't he like 40 or something, or 30
Yeah,
or
he's
something?
in his 40s.
Which I think he said at the end.
Yeah. I love the newspaper. And it said an article. It was like Kevin Bacon's alien abduction.
See, that's the thing though. Did you watch that Christmas special?
Yes, I did.
I didn't. And that's why I was like, ooh. And I'm glad it didn't really have a big effect, because I still like the movie. But I like
really
that
funny.
was a quick nod. So I was like, ooh, I do
Yeah.
need to watch that now.
It was a quick nod, yeah. But
With this. Oh, go on.
I was gonna say the final thing was like the legendary Star-Lord will return.
Which at this point, I'm like, does this mean...
That means Peter will return, but not as part of Guardians of the Galaxy.
Oh, okay. That's a good point.
If that makes sense.
Okay. That's interesting.
So it's just Peter. Peter will come back because it says Star-Lord, not Guardians of the Galaxy return.
Okay.
Will return.
That's a good point. Now, do you think that will be a movie or a show?
I feel like Chris Pratt is heading out. I thought he was. Like I said earlier, I'm a Chris Pratt hater. I'm a homophobic man. But let me tell you, I thought he was on his way out. But with this being said, with Star-Lord coming back, I think he might be in a couple more movies.
Okay.
To wrap up Phase 5. That's what I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
Which is cool because... Okay, so it was interesting because I also liked how they used their OG, like their original like Guardians like outfits at the end.
Suit, yeah.
I was like, oh, that's beautiful. Nice.
Yes.
Yeah, I was just curious because now I'm like, okay, I do want to see more of Rocket's group, but I don't know how much, or just seeing them exist is cool too, like in other movies. That's fine. Because
Rocket's group could be a TV show. I think.
Yeah.
It could be.
But I also don't think they need to drag it out too much either.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah, they don't need to expand it anymore.
I don't think they need to expand too much on a Guardians period. So that's why when I saw Star-Lord will return, I was actually very surprised.
Yeah.
So.
I bet you were, yeah. No, but it just means Chris Pratt will just come back as Star-Lord at some point.
No, you made a good point. I didn't even think about how when they say someone will return, it's specifically that person.
That person, yeah.
Because before they did say Guardians will return, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
So,
they've always said Guardians of the Galaxy will return.
Because everyone else got like their quote unquote happy ending. So.
Yeah.
See.
Did you have anything else?
I just thought that I like the overall feel. I think this was the most fun I had with an MCU movie in a while. I didn't expect it to be Guardians, but I think that's how the first one went too. So,
no, I agree.
I think this is better than Ant-Man so far.
Oh, by far.
out of most of the Phase 4 movies, besides Spider-Man, because Spider-Man's an anomaly in my opinion. Like
Spider-Man was just the best in Phase 4.
Yeah, because it was like a totally another level. But compared to other stuff in Phase 4, I think I enjoyed. This is the first time I've enjoyed MCU movie in a while. Like I think the action and then the comedy was well balanced again.
Yeah.
Because usually they've been having the issue of like balancing it. But I think this is also a testament to James Gunn as a director, because all his stuff, a lot of action, a lot of gory shit, but then also good amount of comedy that like.
And some serious dark themes that comes along with it.
That kind of
which makes me excited about the Gunverse.
Me too.
A little excited.
I'm excited for DCU.
Yeah, me too. If I had to rank all 3 movies, I'd say 1, 3, 2. 1 is still probably my favorite.
I would agree. I think 1 is still a really good, fun watch. That was, I agree.
Yeah. And this might actually, is this your favorite trilogy, MCU trilogy?
No.
To me, it is actually. It might be.
Mine?
Yeah. Is it yours?
No, I still think Captain America's.
Oh, yeah. Captain America's a good one.
Because at least I like Captain America 1 more than the Guardians 2.
Than the yeah.
Yeah. And I say this as like Captain America, and the trilogy does include Civil War because it is a Captain America movie. Yeah. That's the weird part. That's why I think it's like
I didn't think about that. I was like,
it's a cop out, but because it
said Captain America Civil War, yeah.
Yeah. So to me, that's still my favorite trilogy, because it actually was one of the few times that it actually got better over time too. The Guardians was like good, but then dipped, and then it got good again. So yeah.
But I think
I like it arcing up. I like having a positive arc versus like it dips, like but it got down. Good again.
Yeah, like Thor.
Thor was just Thor had like the hike at the end though.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I forgot about Captain America being a trilogy.
Yeah.
You're right. Civil War was a cop out.
Because it's Avengers 2.0.
Yes, or 2.5. It was, yeah. That's why I didn't think about it. That's why I was like, no, Guardians is probably my favorite trilogy. And then you said that, I was like, shit, I forgot about
Yeah.
Civil War.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, I agree with you. Yeah. But Harrison, do you have any other closing thoughts?
Nope. Liked the movie. No. Had fun.
Me too.
Worth it.
Me too. Yeah. But yeah, me too.
Good laughs. And cried.
Just crying all around. But thanks for tuning in. You can follow us on Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, and Facebook at NgoVo Convo and NgoVo Convo. If you're on YouTube, go hit that like button. It's right below me, below us. Yes, Harrison's pointing. Let us know how we're doing. What do you want to see next? What do you want us? Wow. What do you want us to review, read, watch? Comment down below. Play. Everything. Let us know.
Our thing.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.